Hey guys, Martin here, bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today I'm going to be trying once again to test out the STR Super 17 against the Metal Cooler Core. I had some people tell me that after my video yesterday where I took him up against Broly and it was an absolute struggle bus, someone told me that I should have taken him up against the Metal Cooler Army, or Metal Cooler Core, because this is a fight that is much easier for the 17s because they have type advantage in the final phase. And that is very true. However, I think what people fail to understand is that getting to the Metal Cooler Core is actually Metal Cooler Core is hard as well, so I can't really say but getting to Metal Cooler Core is the hard part. Like, Super 17's team is so bad for this event in particular. Oh yeah, see, that's not good either. We got such a bad first rotation on here that I'm just off to a terrible start already. I thought we'd try him out on Cell's team because it's the only other team that they get a 200% leader skill. But the biggest problem with these Android units pretty much across the board is the team just does not have a lot of strong slot 1 units. And even units like the Jiro and Mew, and then like the 16 and 18 unit that could be good in this first phase against the Metal Cooler Army because they have type advantage, those units then get absolutely destroyed by the Metal Cooler Core once we get to the final phase. So whilst the 17s can be pretty good, and remember as well, look, they dodge both the normal attacks and then they don't dodge the super, so we instantly die. Well, I say instantly, 198k is actually not that bad, but yeah, I guess we did get a double super. If they don't get the additional super, they have even less defense, so then they take a lot more damage. I think, well, he could still super again, I was going to say, because we could survive the turn. And the other thing as well on these teams, both of the teams, whether you're running the 17s or you're running Cell, you could bring LR Cell on the team, and like now straight away on the second turn we would be getting the transformation into Super Perfect Cell with the full heal, but it's like another int unit that you're taking up against the Metal Cooler Core, which is just a really bad idea. And even here, for example, like the tech androids, there's not enough tech orbs to pick up for them, so they're not going to be looking good here in slot 1. I could do this, keep them on rotation just so they can get the Ghost Usher next turn. I mean, I guess I just kind of have to Ghost Usher here because, like, if anyone on this rotation gets supered at this level of HP, I will die. So yeah, once we get to the Metal Cooler Core, then obviously the 17s could be pretty good. The fact that we have lost a bit of HP means we should be able to transform, but the other thing you have to remember about the Metal Cooler Core as well is that you always get there on turn 4 because you only fight the Metal Cooler Army for 3 turns. So with the first turn of the Metal Cooler Core, you cannot fuse into Super 17 even if you're at the HP threshold because it has to be after 5 turns. So then you're still left in the situation where you have to worry about your slot 1 units. So I did bring the Int LR Cell. He does have fairly decent defense, but I mean, like, if he eats a slot 1 super here from the Metal Cooler Army, we still just die. So it's not exactly the best scenario because the Metal Cooler Army, their normal attacks aren't so bad and they can be attack lowered, but the fact that they can super attack twice in 1 turn, that is the kicker for this Android team, because regardless of who we use as the leader, there are very few units that can tank supers. And so the fact that this event can super you twice in the first phase is quite bad. So let me try a different build and come back. Okay, so I'm using the actual double Super 17s lead version of the team, but I've made a very different team for this. So I don't even have that many androids actually on the team. And of course both the 17s are on the next turn. So the only thing with this is, as I already mentioned, the tech androids, if they eat a super attack, we just die. So I don't want to Ghost Usher with them though. Although I guess if I float you off, Ghost Usher, and then I kind of do want to keep them on rotation, but yeah, let's just see what happens. I mean, if I can get it in the video, you guys will obviously see, but like, you guys are going to see what happens if they eat a super attack. And then I thought we'd try out Rikuma and Guldo, because they could be a good defensive unit against the Metal Cooler core, because we don't have a Ginyu on the rotation, so they're only going to have a chance to guard. Well, sorry, Ginyu on the team anyway, at all. So they're only going to have a chance to guard, but at least against the Metal Cooler core, they have type advantage already, so even if they don't guard, maybe they could be pretty useful. And obviously Frieza here going to be very good for these early turns. I think this is one of the few red zone events where I think I do like using AGL Golden Frieza, because I'm really not a big fan of how he loses his damage reduction as the fight goes on. But obviously this event is a lot shorter, so he's not going to get as exposed like as quickly, so I think he could be good. Especially, again, like I say, one of the main issues for this team is having units that in this first phase against the Metal Cooler army can actually tank the super. Oh, are you kidding me? He's supered again already. So yeah, they're just dead now, right? Ooh, that was close. The only reason they survived is because we picked up so many tech orbs. Like, I did an attempt. The reason why I did Broly's video first yesterday is because I died in all 3 attempts against the Metal Cooler core. And I can tell you right now, if you don't pick up a lot of tech orbs, I think even with like 6 orbs, they just get killed by the Metal Cooler core, the Metal Cooler army super attack. So, alright, so we've got the Metal Cooler here. I thought he would be another good unit to kind of try out on the team, because obviously he has that revival potential, so that could come in quite handy. It is a once only thing. You know, he's not going to link up super well with most of the team. He is going to have some links with Frieza, obviously, but again, this build of the team, like, obviously looks and seems very wonky. And I'm obviously going to be complaining about the 17's performance, like, overall, not just in this particular run. And yeah, I don't want to see people being like, oh, but look at the weird team that you're using. It's like, yeah, because if you run, like, a lot of the other Android units that are under these guys' leader skill, they all die in this event. So, I mean, like, people say what you want about Turles. Now that I've seen more videos of him, I think his performance is actually really good. He is a very good damage dealing unit. He's not there to tank super attacks. He's a damage dealer. Like, on his best turn, he active skills for like 20 million super effective damage, and then does like 12 million super attacks. Like, he's not there to eat super attacks, right? He's there to do tons of damage, which is awesome. I like units like that sometimes. Not every single unit can be a tank. But anyway, not to get off topic about Turles. Like, they should have done what they did with him and given these guys 2 side banner units. One that was like a really, really good slot 1 tank, and then the other one could be a support. Like, Jiro and Dr. Mew aren't that great, but they could have been one of the units. It would have been nice if they had a few extra buffs, but then give them another side banner unit that is a really, really good slot 1 tank, like a new Hellfighter 17 or something like that. And then, of course, their celebration on JP never got a part 2 because it went into, was it Saiyan Day? And so, like, they really needed like a part 2 LR or something that would actually be good. So, I really want you to take a bunch of hits so you can get built up. But if you get super attacked in slot 1 straight away, that would be really bad. But I think I am going to do it, right? Because I want to get the build up here. And then if I do this, we can get a bunch of these AGL orbs. So hopefully this will be enough for the androids to be okay. Because with the enemy being so attack lowered. Because this is the other problem as well. Like, even AGL Super 17. Now, anyone, like, you know, questioning his performance, he's a super old unit, so I'm not expecting him to be like this godly mega tank, but the fact that he is still somewhat runnable is pretty impressive. But the problem is he has to take a lot of hits to get built up. So again, in the Metal Cooler core event where you're fighting the core on turn 4, if you get to turn 4 and that AGL Super 17 hasn't taken any hits, he is about to get absolutely eviscerated by the Metal Cooler core. So obviously, we do have the advantage with the army because you can't kill them early. Like, you know, you're always going to take all of the attacks that they throw out. If I'd put him in slot 2 or 3, he would have always been taking 2 hits because we can't, like, end the turn early. But we kind of did need to take the risk there, put him in slot 1 and let him take all of those attacks. Fortunately, we don't get supered, so... But this is where things will start to get a bit scary, because we have Are they sealed? Of course they are. They only share... Oh, they share Fierce Battle and Brutal Beatdown. So what's their defense? 198k. That's not a lot. Yeah. I mean, as long as they do guard, like, when they take the first hit, if they do guard, they are going to get a bunch of extra defense. But if they don't guard, then they potentially are going to get destroyed. And unfortunately, remember that the Ginyu, the Metal Cooler has to be the one that dies if you want to get the revival. So the Rakuman Guldo or the 17s getting killed here doesn't really help me. Do you revive with full HP when you get his revival? Yes. See, I kind of don't want that either, right? I would rather, if I can get into the next turn at 70% or less HP, then I can fuse into Super 17. Because the problem is, if I do this, and then he immediately kills Metal Cooler, then I just revive and go into the next turn healed, and I haven't really like gained anything from that. So I really thought those greens were going to drop down and connect. God damn it. All right, well, we'll have to hope we get additionals from the hidden potential. Now, fortunately, they do build up their dodge chance within the turn just by attacking. It doesn't have to be a super. Okay, they guarded. Whew. All right, so they got their extra defense. We didn't get to super, though, so we haven't exactly got tons of defense here. Dodge this as well? Oh, of course. We dodge the normal, eat the super, of course. How much is this going to do? Jeez. 413k. I get the dodge. Oh, there we go. Look at that. We got the 2 attacks, so we got 34% chance to dodge, and they dodged both the hits. Now, is Metal Cooler going to die? How many times has he even been attacked in this event? Okay, yeah, he is. Now, unfortunately, I would have been able to go into the next turn and fuse into Super 17. However, like, I don't know if we would have had a good rotation for like slot 1 or anything, right? Because we would have survived and got the fusion, but we would have been on very low HP if Metal Cooler didn't die on this turn just gone. So, how can we play this out now? Now we're on turn 5, so how good is Golden Freezer going to be on this turn? I mean, the problem is, yeah, Super 17 at the start of the turn has 50k defense. Are you actually kidding me? So yeah, I can't do this. Like, I'm just asking to get murdered if I do that. So I'm gonna do this. Hopefully, Golden Freezer still has enough damage reduction that even if he eats a super here, we're not gonna die. And then we'll go ahead and do this. So the friend 17s are... Oh, okay, he takes damage from normals at this point. Well, rip. Well, actually, to be fair, to say that, damage reduction is a percentage. So sometimes you will see units, they will still take damage from normal attacks, but then they take less damage from a super than you might anticipate because it is percentage based. So obviously the more the damage coming in, the more gets cut off because it's a percentage. So, okay, and he didn't super him. Can AGL Super 17 actually survive a super from the Metal Cooler core? I don't know. I don't think so. But yeah, the next video I'll do for the 17s, someone did mention it in the comments. I think someone mentioned it on Twitter as well. I will do a video of them versus the Gamma's Red Zone stage, because it's basically the only Red Zone stage where you fight super class enemies that exists in the game at the moment. And I think the difficulty level is still somewhat relevant, right? It's not the hardest Red Zone stage, but it's definitely not like super easy. I actually do really like that stage. If only we could have lost a little bit more HP. Now, if I want to do this the smart way, then I should use their active skill here. And then do this. Do this. And then we don't need to worry. We'll still get them the tech orbs, or will we? Yeah, we will. Because we're going to have to take damage on the next turn anyway, so I might as well do this and do as much damage to the core as possible. I mean, the thing is as well, right, when I showcase these units against these stages, one of the things I have to bear in mind is that it doesn't always necessarily have to be a no-item run. And with this team, like, we're already kind of playing with fire. So the fact that we've managed to get this far without having to use an item is actually pretty good. And I think if I Whis on the next turn, I should be able to pretty much guarantee that we survive the turn and can fuse into Super 17. But this is what the biggest problem is like, you see the number of hoops that we have to jump through, like, just to even get Super 17 actually out on the field. Like, I would have no problem. I mean, I think maybe he would have needed some extra buffs, because obviously he'd be like half the card at that point. But I feel like I'd have almost no qualms with this unit if they just released him as Super 17, like, from turn 1, with the exact same kit and everything. I think he would have been, maybe not necessarily fine, but he would have been okay. So, I'm going to use the active skill just to do a little bit of extra damage, because we do get a heal off of it, but I'm kind of not really trying to heal, am I? I'm trying to get the... I only get strongest clan in space. Does that give me any defense? Because otherwise I might as well just put him in slot 1. No, it doesn't. So yeah, I might as well do... If I'm going to use an item anyway, I might as well do this. Because Golden Frieza's lost quite a bit of his damage reduction, but now I'm giving him extra damage reduction by using the Whis. So he should be okay in slot 1 here. And then hopefully LR Metal Cooler should be okay because of the Whis as well. So, I mean, LR Metal Cooler potentially would still die if he got supered at the end, but we'll see how this plays out here. I mean, I need someone to get supered, right? Because I want to be able to fuse into Super 17, but yeah, it's not really going our way so far, is it? I mean, we made it to this point without dying, which is good, but this turn specifically, depending where the super attack is placed, if he does super this turn, not using the Whis would have potentially meant, like, instant death. I mean, I guess the one, like... Yeah, I was going to say, the one good play that could have happened that would keep us alive with no item needed is if he supered them and they just dodged, but they didn't dodge, so... However, we have dropped down enough now that we will be able to fuse into Super 17, so... If there's one good thing about this unit, it's the animation. So I will play the fusion. I've been playing it in most of the videos, to be fair, but I will go ahead and use it. I kind of wish that there were more attacks in slot 1. Now it's the turn where we're actually going to put Super 17 there, right? Because that's the other thing, is now we finally have him out, but now he needs to get hit like 10 times. Like, his design is just so... I've mentioned it before, but his design is so similar to STR Goku and Gohan that it's actually kind of crazy. It's the, like, can I copy your homework, but change it to make sure you didn't look like you cheated me. Because not only do you have to get him out, he then has to get hit a whole bunch. But just like Gohan, where Gohan only has guaranteed guard for a certain number of turns, and you need to get all of his hits in so that he then keeps guard, because that's one of the abilities that he gets from getting hit. When you fuse into Super 17, you get extra damage reduction, but you only get the extra damage reduction for like 4 turns. So in those first 4 turns, you want him to get hit as much as possible, so that then when that little bit of extra damage reduction is worn out, he is going to have really high defense at that point. I mean, we still have the Whis active here. I would be a little bit scared about AGL Super 17 taking a super, because he is sealed, so he can't super attack here and raise his defense. But once Super 17 comes out, like, he can start doing some decent stuff. Of course, we didn't get the additional from the passive or the hidden potential, so as I say that, he kind of frauds me out a little bit, but okay. AGL Super 17, we got a Whis active, so it's not like super impressive, but taking double-digit damage without super attacking. That's the beauty of having a unit that has damage reduction, and then throwing like a Whis item out there on top of that. Like, they're just, you know, never really going to take that much damage. And then we're sealed again. God damn it. Can I even survive this turn now? Because, like, I guess I could just use the other Whis, but, like, I should do this, I suppose. But, like, I know the thing is, the tech androids have, like, completely outlived their usefulness now. Like, I do not want them on rotation at all anymore. But as we are now getting more and more turns into the fight, I don't want Golden Frieza on rotation either. So I'm going to pop the other Whis here. I can grab these, and then grab... Oh, I can't... Oh, you need more than 2. Damn it. Alright, well, I guess we'll just have to grab this. and then we'll grab these. If the androids get super attacked, we are dead. Even with the Whis active. I think Frieza might be okay. Because he has a little bit of damage reduction left, and then we have the Whis on top. But obviously he doesn't have like a ton of his links active on this rotation or anything, so he's not exactly at peak performance. But alright, so Super 17. I kind of would like to see him eat a super here, but I mean, we have the Whis active, but I mean, just more so curiosity, like if the Whis allows him to take double digits. I think it would, because on the first 4 turns, well, you have that extra damage reduction. He has like 51% damage reduction? So with a Whis on top, he has like 91% damage reduction. So he's not taking much damage from much of anything. Oh wow, we didn't get supered. Okay. And he sealed a Super 17 again. What is his defense here? 240k. Yeah, see, even that, I mean, mine is only 55%, so I shouldn't be too hard on him, like, for having that lower defense, but, yeah, not exactly great. Like, the damage reduction is nice, but, now, if we don't win here, this is we still have the Whis active. We didn't get the additional again, nice. Is this the STR, Super 17? Yeah, so he takes double-digit damage with the Whis active, which, I mean, is expected, right? Because his total damage reduction is closing in on 100%, so that's we kind of would expect that, right? Because the way damage reduction works is the damage reduction is taken off of the damage, and then it factors in your defense. So with him having like 250k, if that like 91% when you take it out of the Metal Cooler Core's damage, if you've got less than 250k less, then left over, then obviously he's only going to take double-digit damage. But obviously, as we kind of have said recently with all the heroes discussions and stuff, like these big new units that are coming out, you shouldn't need to use items for them to like succeed. And to be honest, I will say, just to like be clear, Super 17 himself, it's not like you have to use an item, otherwise he's terrible. The problem is the rest of his team. Now, we should win here unless... God. Oh, this is what I was going to say, is if they don't guard and then get supered, they could die. Because as long as they don't die here, Super 17 will kill the Metal Cooler Core, which, you know, whilst it's got an asterisk next to it with the, you know, Whis items, wonky team, etc., that means we did defeat the Metal Cooler Core with STR Super 17, but boy, did we have to work for it. So yeah, oh my god. And he didn't get the additional again, so Golden Frieza just has to come in and bitch slap Metal Cooler Core. Sit down, brother. Alright, well, there you go. So STR Super 17, his team is bad, he is not great against extreme units. Please win the world, because obviously for global, we already know what's coming for the anniversary, and there are events where you have to fight a lot of Goku and Vegetas, right? The anniversary boss event thing. But please, for like the worldwide celebration, because this will benefit Turles on JP as well. For the worldwide celebration, please bring out difficult content that has super type enemies. And also Goku enemies, because that's going to help out Jiro and Dr. Mew as well. But anyway, let me know what you guys think down below. Like I say, I will show him off against the Gamma stage. I think he will do a lot better there. Some of the units are a little bit more viable, and we'll see how we get on. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.